The morning started like any other. Tuesday for Michael Hargreaves. Wake at 5:30. Make breakfast for his 9-year-old daughter, Lily. Get her sorted for school. Drop her at the school gates by 8:15. Then leg it across town to make his 8 o'clock shift. At Hargreaves Logistics. At 34, Michael had mastered the single dad scramble. Though, mastered, might be pushing it. Given how often he rocked up to work knackered and apologizing. Today was meant to be different. Today he'd actually left early. Giving himself a decent cushion. Today he might actually get there bang on time for once. Maybe even impress the gaffer enough to put an end to the constant grief about timekeeping. Then he spotted the car on the side of the A road. A posh black saloon, hazards flashing. Pulled awkwardly onto the hard shoulder. Michael nearly drove straight past. He was finally going to be on time. And stopping would muck it all up. But then he saw her. A woman in a smart taupe dress. Very clearly expecting. Standing beside the car looking proper stressed. Michael's conscience won out over his own neck. He pulled over. "You all right, love?" he called. Approaching carefully. The woman turned. Michael could see now she was further along than he'd first thought. Easily 8 months gone. Her blonde hair was done nicely, professional-like. The dress and jewelry screamed money. But her face was pure panic. "Puncture," she said, gesturing uselessly. "Just went flat. I've got a massive meeting in Manchester in 90 minutes. Proper critical one. I cannot miss it." Michael glanced at his watch. 7:42. If he got the wheel changed sharpish, he might still scrape in by 15:15. "Let me give you a hand." "Got a spare?" Relief washed over her face. "In the boot, but I've not a clue how to do it. Never changed one in my life." "No worries. I'll sort it." Michael was already round the back. Popping the boot, finding the spare and the jack. As he got stuck in, the woman stood nearby. One hand resting protectively on her bump. "Thank you so much. I rang the breakdown people. But they said 45 minutes at best. I'm Catherine, by the way." Michael. "And honestly, no bother. Can't leave a pregnant lass stranded on the hard shoulder." He got the jack under. Started loosening the wheel nuts. The tire was on tight, proper fighting him. "Got any kiddies?" Catherine asked. "A daughter. Lily. 9. Michael grunted with effort. As the first nut finally gave. "Single parent?" "How'd you guess?" "The way you said her name. That mix of pure love and complete exhaustion." Catherine gave a small smile. "My sister's bringing one up on her own. I recognize it." Michael kept at it, clock ticking. 7:51. 7:56. The flat finally came off. The spare went on. As he tightened the last nut, Catherine's phone rang. "Yes, I know I'm running late," she said, voice tight. "Car trouble. I'll be there as quick as I can." "No, don't you dare start without me. It's my company and my meeting." She hung up, clearly fuming. "All done," Michael said, lowering the jack. "The donut'll get you to Manchester. But get a proper tire sorted soon as." "Thank you. Truly. You've saved my bacon." Catherine reached for her purse. "Please, let me give you something for your time." "No need. Just glad I could help." Michael checked his watch. 8:12. He was already late. "At least take my card," she insisted. Pressing it into his palm. "If you ever need anything, anything at all, ring me. I mean it." Michael shoved it in his pocket without looking. And hurried back to his car. He pulled into the Hargreaves logistics yard at 8:27. 27 minutes late. His line manager, Darren Clark, was waiting by his workstation, arms folded. Hargreaves. My office. Now. Michael's stomach dropped. Darren, I can explain. I've heard your excuses. Lass was poorly. Traffic. Alarm didn't go off. Always Summit. Darren's face was like thunder. Fourth time this month you've been late. I warned you after the third. I stopped to help someone. Pregnant woman, flat tire on the A road. Couldn't just drive past her. Not my problem. We've got schedules. Deadlines. Responsibilities. You can't meet them. Darren pulled out a termination letter, already filled in. Effective immediately. You're out for persistent lateness. HR'll sort your final pay. The room spun for Michael. Darren, please. I need this job. I've got a daughter to keep. Let me make the hours up. Dock my wages. Anything. Decisions made. Clear your locker. 30 minutes later. Michael sat in his car in the staff car park. Holding a cardboard box with 3 years of desk tat. A photo of Lily. A wonky mug she'd made him in after-school club. His now-dead access card. He got his phone out to ring his ex. Beg for a bit of help with bills till he found someone else. Then remembered she'd moved to Spain with her new bloke. And hadn't sent maintenance in half a year. He was on his Todd. That's when he remembered the card. He fished it out, properly looked at it for the first time. Catherine Hargreaves. CEO. Hargreaves Logistics. Michael stared at the name. The woman he'd helped was the owner of the company that had just sacked him. For a second he thought about binning the card. And driving off. What was the point? She'd given it before she knew he worked there. Ringing her now would be begging. Taking the mick out of her gratitude. But Lily needed feeding. Rent due in a fortnight. Pride was a luxury he couldn't afford. He dialed. Catherine Hargreaves' office. Crisp, professional voice. Hi. Catherine gave me her card this morning. After I helped with her tire. Name's Michael Hargreaves. One moment, please. Hold for 30 seconds. Then her voice. Michael. I'm so glad you rang. I wanted to thank you properly again. I got the sack, he cut in. I was late because I stopped to help you. My manager let me go for timekeeping. Silence. Then. So you work for Hargreaves Logistics. Worked. Past tense now. What's your manager's name? Darren Clark. But I'm not ringing to drop him in it. You said if I ever needed anything. Right now I need a job. I've got a daughter relying on me. Give me 20 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Line went dead. If this story's hitting home, give it a like, share it. Subscribe if you're new. Drop a comment. What do you reckon about doing the right thing? Even when it properly costs you? Michael waited in the car. Not sure what to expect. 18 minutes later. Phone rang. Michael, can you come back in? HR, third floor. When he got to HR. Catherine was there. Still in the taupe dress. Now with sensible flats instead of heels. With her, the HR boss, Patricia. And Darren Clark, looking like he'd swallowed a wasp. Mr. Hargreaves, Patricia started. We've reviewed your dismissal. And it's been judged a mistake. You're reinstated, effective immediately. Darren went bright red. With respect. Mr. Clark, Catherine cut across. Voice like steel. I've looked at Michael's record. 3 years of solid performance reviews. No complaints from colleagues. Perfect safety record. Only issues been the odd late morning. Which your own notes link to single-parent duties. Company policy states. Company policy also states that managers should make reasonable adjustments for family responsibilities when someone's otherwise smashing it. Did you look at flexible starts? Hybrid working? Any adjustments at all? Darren shifted. No, but this morning he was late because he stopped to help a stranded driver. That driver was me. He changed my tire, wouldn't take a penny, and made himself late to help a stranger. That's exactly the sort of character I want here. She turned to Michael. You're not just reinstated. You're moving up to logistics coordinator. With a 8:30 start time. Pay rise of 20%. Michael couldn't speak. Just stared. And Mr. Clark, Catherine went on. You're being reassigned to a role. Without direct people management. Patricia will go through it with you. After Darren slunk off, stunned and fuming. Catherine turned back to Michael. I meant it about ringing if you needed help. But this isn't charity. I built this place on the belief. We value decency as much as ability. Someone who stops for a pregnant stranger. Puts people before the clock. Works his socks off despite everything. That's who I want on the team. I don't know what to say, Michael managed. Say yes to the job. And say you'll help me sort our policies. So they're better for working parents. If you've been struggling. I reckon plenty of others have too. Over the next few months. Michael worked with Catherine. To bring in big changes at Hargreaves Logistics. Flexible start times. Remote options where it made sense. Emergency childcare backup. Proper paid parental leave. The place went from rigid clock watching to actually supporting people. And funnily enough, output went up. Michael proper thrived in the new role. His eye for detail and getting stuck in made him brilliant at coordinating. 8:30 start meant he could take Lily to school himself. No more early bus. Proper time together. Catherine became not just the boss, but a mentor and mate. When her little girl arrived. Healthy, named Emma. Michael was one of the first visitors. With a present Lily had chosen. You know what's mad? Catherine said. Cradling Emma in the hospital room. If that Tyre hadn't gone that morning, I'd have made my meeting fine. And never known how broken our family policies were. Never realized how many decent people we were losing over inflexibility. And I'd have been on time for once, Michael added. Kept the job. And stayed stuck in the same rut. Funny how a right cock-up can turn into a proper chance. It's not funny, she said. It's you choosing to help when it was easier to keep driving. That choice changed everything. For both of us. A year on. Hargreaves Logistics won an award. As one of the top firms for working parents in the Northwest. Catherine gave the speech. But dragged Michael up on stage with her. This award isn't about trendy policies or big perks. She told the room. It's about seeing our people as whole humans. With proper complicated lives. And supporting them makes them better at work. We learned that lesson. Because one single dad had the guts to be late. To help a stranger. Thank you, Michael. For reminding us what really counts. That evening, Michael collected Lily from her mate's house. Driving past the A road where he'd stopped over a year before. Such a tiny decision. Pull over or carry on. Help or look after number one. He'd chosen help. It cost him his job for about 20 minutes. Then it gave him a career. Security. A mentor. And the quiet pride of knowing he'd helped make the company kinder. "Dad," Lily piped up from the back seat. "Why are you smiling?" "Just thinking about punctures and second chances." "That's weird." Michael laughed. "Yeah, love. Life's weird sometimes. But in the best way. One flat tire. One choice to stop. One moment when doing the right thing looked like the daft thing. Only to become the spark that changed hundreds of lives for the better. Sometimes getting the sack for being late is the start of something miles better than being on time ever could be.